Everybody, come on in. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday, acting like a Monday. And you see the title of this: Never Let a Crisis Go to Waste. I'm sorry, so sorry in a way that Rahm Emanuel will forever have that phrase linked to him. I'm sure people used it in different ways, but it certainly is the classic Obama era transition from people trying to manage crisis management to never let a crisis go to waste. You can always count now on the left to take every opportunity. I'm sure it was true, by the way, of everybody, a conservative, liberal, people in power, that when there was a crisis, you used the opportunity to take certain chances or risks or all, but you hope that they were directional. You watch, I mean, in a positive way. That's what I always hoped. But you just can tell the difference in government. So, all right, let me go make sure. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance first, because we start with that. I hope you got a chance over the weekend to celebrate Memorial Day, hopefully with the pledge. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. And we go back to it. So here's what I want to tell you about. Really terrible. And I did see this. I saw this coming, and I talked a little bit about it on my radio show. You can go over to proamericareport.com and you can sign up there, sign up for the daily email, but also see some of those interviews and do a search. So I did talk about this in one of the commentaries about the power of abortion, the abortion lobby and the abortion industry, and how they used the pandemic crisis in the right, in the crisis, which had all kinds of issues and things needed to happen. And then they use it to further their abortion ideas. So then the instance of this is telemedicine. The pandemic led to a need for telemedicine, which is probably pretty good, right? I think telemedicine has a role. Why not? I still, as you all know, I'm married to a doctor. So I would say that in-person doctoring is more important than just sorry about that. So that was the doctor. In-person doctoring is important, but telemedicine was very helpful, especially when you didn't want to have to go sit in a waiting room with sick people and you could go to the doctor. So telemedicine. And in fact, one of the other big transitions at that time of the pandemic early on was across state lines. A doctor who was licensed in Virginia could practice with a patient in Maryland. If you were licensed in Missouri, patient could practice in Illinois. If you were licensed physician in California, you had a patient in Arizona. You get the point. So telemedicine plus across state boundaries allowed more quicker access to care. All pretty good. What just happened in the last 6 weeks was with the new administration, the Biden administration, which is, rabidly pro-abortion. They're using telemedicine. Telemedicine has been used to dispense chemical abortion drugs. So you can have a patient get a doctor's visit on telemedicine and get prescribed the chemicals necessary for abortion. Now, you would think that there's a bunch of stuff that happens when you actually take abortion chemicals that are pretty significant, that you would want to have something more than just a telemedicine call and then go to your pharmacy and pick it up. Even in the articles that covered this, you had instances where I think the FDA director or maybe a sub-director was saying, well, there are some studies that have shown some problems, with blood clots and things, but in general, they're safer, and we don't want people to be exposed to COVID. So they should be able to get this done by telemedicine. And here's the thing. Once this happens, you will see that it will be hard to make it change back. And there's a difference in administrations. I mean, it is as clear as can be. I don't know if the FDA made any rulings or if any of the government agencies have made any rulings under Trump. Maybe it was just not looked at. But the Biden administration is saying, oh, yeah, we have to have this because of the pandemic. I was talking with John Schlafly over the weekend about this, and he says no other drugs, I'm not sure he knows for sure, but he had done some reading, that no other drugs are available in this way. In other words, the argument that these drugs need to be available is unique to the chemical abortion drugs, as opposed to other drugs that people might need for depression or for health or whatever. None of those are made easier in this time period. It's just this one. Why? Well, because never let a crisis go to waste. And in this case, abortion, think about this, chemical abortions are going to be able to be done by telemedicine and then mailed and called into your pharmacy. That, again, many years ago now, I think 15 years ago, 16 years ago, I had a client who was a pro-life pharmacist, and he did not want to have to be forced to dispense chemical abortion drugs. And in Illinois, Governor Blagojevich was trying to do just that by rulemaking, by changing the requirements of pharmacy licensure. And so my friend, who became my friend, we fought that, and he won. He was able to have his right of conscience protected and not have to do it. That's a different argument, by the way, that they were arguing that every pharmacy license holder, pharmacist who holds a license, should have to do that care. And he was saying, I don't want to do that care. That's not care to me. That's the opposite of care. But the point is, this is not a new fight. And you're seeing a whole bunch of people who really, really want to continue the abortion industry and have it grow using telemedicine to undertake abortion. Again, I have to tell you, it is striking to watch. All right, one last thing before we go, and terrible, by the way, we have to work on this. We have to be highlighting the issue. Pro-life legislators this is one that they should jump on. At the state level, they can say no telemedicine for abortion drugs. At the federal level, the men and women that are running for Congress in 2022 should band together and say, we will work on this. We will pass a law, change the regulations, whatever it takes to stop abortion being done by telemedicine with chemical abortion. It's crazy. All right, I do want to point this out. I'm hoping that I'll get Alex Marlow on my radio show. If you look closely here, this is an excellent, excellent book. It really is an excellent book. It's called Breaking the News by Alex Marlow, who's the editor-in-chief over at Breitbart.com. He's a friend of mine to some extent, really good guy. And it's a really good book. It's not small. It's a long, 300 pages into it, but it moves really fast. He's a good storyteller. He does a great radio show in the morning, so I'm not surprised he's a good storyteller. If you haven't seen Breaking the News, you should get it. I will tell you, he made the New York Times bestseller list. He's been at the top of Amazon sales and all. I was surprised and impressed that the New York Times put him on, because I thought they might block him just because he's been a critic of them and is in the book too. So good for him. Alex Marlow is a great guy. He deserves a lot of success and is getting it. And his book is Breaking the News. And, part of what I said earlier, never let a crisis go to waste. There's a crisis in media, and we shouldn't let it go to waste. We should be thinking about how to make sure that there is new media. Breitbart.com is one, radio shows, streaming live, all these kinds of things are important. So, all right, everybody, hope you had a great weekend. Quick one today. We will be back tomorrow. Lots happening.